As I said in the first video, I kind of did that whole video kind of flying by the seat of my pants. And so I'm gonna just kind of, I'm gonna do a few things all at the same time. I'm gonna answer some questions that have come up. This pattern has gotten very, very popular in the midst of the crisis that everybody's going through right now, and is in very high demand. So if it hasn't downloaded right away for you, just give it a little bit of time, and so that my system can kind of catch up with the emails. It will come, the download will come as a separate email, and in that email, you just have to click the download and it'll come to you. So a few things. Make sure that when you are printing the pattern that you're printing at 100% or at no scaling, whatever your, however it works best for you. You will need to probably print from a computer as opposed to a tablet or a phone. Some people have had a little bit of problems when they're not printing directly from a computer. So they missing pages, that kind of thing. But when they go to a computer, it seems to straighten out. So from here to here, not quite in there. This edge should be about 17 inches. Mine is like, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch out or something, but it's really not a big deal. If you're worried about it, just spread these apart a little bit until you get 17 from here down to the very bottom. Another one, again, in the whole flying by the seat of my pants, I must have edited out in the original video the marks, and I've got lots of questions about that. Where did we mark that? And it isn't in the video. I'm very sorry for that. So what you can do to mark on your pattern is, this one is going to be 3/8 and 3/8, just from the two line. Again, it's not a huge issue with being super precision on this, but these are just kind of stop marks. So you don't want to, when you're sewing this part together, you fold this. When you're sewing this, you don't want to sew all the way to the end. So you just need to leave a little space there. So that one's there. Then this one, again, it's going to be in 3/8, and it's about 2 3/4 inches down from this corner right here, if you want to mark that one there. So depending on which way you're sewing, you want to sew just to those lines. So you leave this part of the seam open here and this part over here. Now, the last thing that I'm going to try and address is long hair. Now, these caps, originally they were designed or meant for cancer patients. So I guess I was assuming that these people had little or no hair. So I wasn't really worried about designing something to hold a lot of hair. Well, that has changed with nurses needing these, frontline workers needing these. Some have hair. I don't have anything really for a ponytail. I'm actually a bag designer, not necessarily clothing or hat designer, I guess. But this is what I think may help a lot for people needing a little bit more room in the back. So what I've done, and I'll pull another piece of paper over here, one that I have done the alterations on. This is kind of, again, I'm just really, this is all really quick and kind of scrappy, I guess. But what I've done is I've gone from this corner. So where, let me see here. Let me pull in. Okay. So I've just used this as a reference point. So I've gone from there kind of straight-ish down. Go back out here, and I've taken my ruler, started at this corner, gone basically straight down, and all I've done is I've cut my pattern piece all the way down here. So when I did that, I've pulled this over. So now I want to keep this lined up at the top up here. I'm not going to tape it quite yet, but down at the bottom, I'm going to add an inch. So from this edge, I'm just using this straight piece right here and going over to where my other piece of paper starts. So once I have this kind of figured out here, I'm going to go back up to the top, make sure that's lined up, and I'm going to tape that down. Double check, make sure I've got an inch here. Now if you've got someone with lots of hair, I have not tested this. I'm going to be completely honest. I have not tested this, so I don't know how much extra room it's going to give. You may want to try one. If you need to add more, you can do the same thing. You can just add more in here. Now, essentially what I'm trying to do, now this is a children's one that I had made, and this is what you end up with, right? So you've got kind of have this pocket at the back. All I'm doing is I'm making that bigger. So I'm just going to make a bigger pocket at the back of the hat that I'm assuming will hold more hair. Now, an inch is going to give quite a bit of room, I think. If you need more, just make this bigger. So now I've got an inch here. I'm going to tape so that this is correct. So I've got an inch. Now, when I do that, get this one out of the way. I also need to add some in here. So again, I'm going to cut straight across, add an inch in there, and tape it all together. So now this part is pretty simple. All I have to do is connect my lines there, connect my line there. Now this I want to keep straight because this we need the proper angle. So this I'm just going to draw a line straight across using this as my reference. I'm going to go straight across, and then all I'm going to do is just bring this down. So now I can just cut that. The pleats are not a big deal. They are not a precision. We don't have to worry about getting everything exact. So just this little bit of extra right in here, just work it in. Again, if you're really worried about it, just change this little curve up there as well. So then you just have that curve. So that's really all there is to adjusting the pattern. So if you need more, this will, by adjusting this equal to this, then I still have that little tail left over for putting the elastic in. I guess while I'm here too, some of the stuff that has come back to me is they are sewing buttons. I don't know exactly the placement of them, but sewing buttons on the side here for the elastic for the masks. People's ears are starting to get very sore. I can't even imagine how painful that must be to be wearing masks constantly. So they're putting a big button on there. They can just put the elastic around. Also, some are doing elastic, but they're also doing ties. So if you're doing elastic and ties, then I would just sew my tie onto here or into there somehow and do it that way. If you are not doing elastic, I know elastic, they're finding shortages of it because so many people are doing masks. If you're having trouble with that, then what I would suggest is leaving, well, I guess I can show it on here, this tail right here. Well, the little bit left that we have once we sew this little corner in here, you've got a little bit of extra, maybe make that an inch longer or more. Again, I have not tested this. And just do a little hem on it. Sew ties onto the bottom of the band on both sides. Now, if this was not all rolled up, it would be a little bit longer. So if you make it even a little bit longer yet, it'll hang down below. Your ties can come with that little tail kind of tucked underneath the ties so it doesn't catch the hair. So I think that would work as well. You can try that if you have someone who is asking not have the elastic, or if you don't have elastic to do it with. So, well, I hope that clears up some of the questions that I have had, and good luck to you, and God bless all of you for all the sewing that you're doing. This is just amazing, and thank you on behalf of everybody who's going to benefit from these. It's amazing.